To tell you the truth, I'm not even sure where to start. Well, first things first, I want to say that Disney is a powerful company that hides incidents very quickly. Ever seen a fight? People arguing? Maybe, yes. But have you ever thought about how short the problem lasted? That's what I'm talking about. Disney is often quick about things and makes their guests believe that nothing happened. So when I went to Disneyland, a terrifying incident happened to me that I will simply never forget. As I was walking down Main Street with my family, I wanted to explore the park alone. I was 14 at the time, so, I wasn't sure if my parents would let me, but surprisingly, they did. I went off and hugged my parents goodbye, and in a matter of seconds, I was on my way. Walking past many rides until I reached Toontown, which at the time was my favorite area of the park. I saw a green door in the corner near a ride area, and no, it wasn't Club 33. There was no way. I knew where Club 33 was, and it definitely was not in Mickey's Toontown. If I remember correctly, Club 33 was near the Pirates of the Caribbean, and I was nowhere near that ride. Don't worry, I have heard theories about Club 33 and how they're hiding something dark and sinister, but after what I saw in that room in particular, I don't have any doubts about it. Back to the point. I was looking around to see if anybody was paying attention to the green door, but nobody seemed to even see it. So I pushed myself through the crowd into the corner where the door was. In front of me was a big 6-foot-tall door that read, "Employees Only." Well, that's bull, I whispered to myself. I tried pushing and pulling on the door, but it didn't budge. I pulled harder, and surprisingly, it ended up opening. It was a loud metal bang against the concrete. I looked around. What the hell? I asked myself. Nobody had heard the sound. It was as if there wasn't even something here. And who wouldn't hear such a loud noise like that? I ignored it and kept going. And as I stepped inside, I felt this wrong feeling. I wanted to keep going, but my instinct said to just close the door and get the hell out of there. That's when I saw that there were a few stairs in the corner of the room leading down to a brightly lit room. I went down them, wanting to explore. And to this day, I wish that I had just left that room alone. In the room, there was another door at the end of it, with a sign next to it that read, "Mickey's House of Fun." Was he down here? I thought to myself. No, he's just a cartoon. It has to be some type of studio or something, I rationalized to myself. As I was about to walk closer to the door, just then it opened. A big, giant circular ear poked out of the door. I froze as I saw the head of that thing start to show itself. I don't know how to describe it. It was clearly him, but he seemed demonic. It was something not from this world. As I was about to turn around and run, it spoke. "Hi," it whispered. That voice. That fucking voice. It was the same. That's when I noticed that it was missing a lot. It wasn't the Mickey that I grew up with. No. It was something that I had never expected to see in my life. Next to the door was a standing 6-foot-tall mouse. Half of its ear missing. The other ear had been sewn on, It was obvious because of the big staples that it had on it. Do you want to meet my other friends? I know you do. It's every kid's dream. Come on, pal, don't be scared. I didn't say anything. We stood there staring at each other. It wasn't until from the top of the door that I saw what was a ripped green hat that I ran up the stairs and out from the door. I was screaming, crying as I heard those damn things chasing after me. I stepped out into the sunlight crying, screaming for my mother. Everybody looked at me in disbelief. Nobody helped. Until a Disney member, in a matter of seconds, stood me up and took me to the park's office. He noticed that I was bleeding from a big scratch. "Cover that up, son. We don't want problems now," he said. Problems? Problems? You have big fucking problems down there, I thought to myself. When we got there, they were asking me so many questions, and I was half lying and half honest with them. I knew that they were going to hide and pretend that this didn't happen. They were going to come up with some bullshit. I knew they were. My mom never asked me what happened or what the staff had told her, but she recently told me, on my 17th birthday, what she had heard, and what the staff had told her. Supposedly, I had gotten scared of an animatronic of a ride, and that I had accidentally ran into a sharp prop of the park, which is the reason of the scratch in my shoulder. Yeah. Right, sure, Disney. And God only knows what was down those stairs, behind that door. I will never know. And I'm not surprised that the staff came up with a straight-up lie and quickly pretended as if nothing happened. I know they know what I was talking about, because I heard a staff say something as I was laying on the floor crying. Something along the lines of, "He opened the door." Disneyland. The happiest place on Earth. Sure, yeah, have your fun lying to poor, innocent families. My advice to you, be careful. Don't let go of your family in a big park with a lot of people. And most importantly, if you see a big green door near Toontown, don't go near it. Once you step in the corner, there is no going back. I truly hope nobody ever goes down there. I'm not sure if I just got lucky getting out alive, but one thing is for sure. Disney has so many secrets. I mean, think about it. A big, powerful company. Why wouldn't they? Oh, and that big green hat? I'm pretty damn sure you know who it was. It's been 4 years. I truthfully have no words, but I can't just doubt my brother like that. If what he says is true, and those things are real, well then I'll have to expose the hell out of Disney. Let me introduce myself. My name is Mark. I'm Max's older brother. I bet he didn't even introduce me, since I didn't really have anything to do with the incident. He's been acting real weird ever since we left Disneyland. Yes, I did read what he wrote on his computer, and it sent a chill down my spine. I mean, think about it. What 14-year-old can make up such a thing? Or, if he was lying and acting it all out, well, hell, he had some good talent. But my brother was one that was raised not to lie. And at first, I thought it was impossible. I mean, why? Why would they have things like those down there? And after doing some research, seeing the stories about certain things Disney has hidden, for example, like like Disney's abandoned Discovery Island in Florida, which, I'm not gonna lie, I want to go explore the island myself. That Suicide Mouse tape, or the fact that they have Walt Disney's head frozen in a freezer under Disneyland, locked away so that they can bring him back when technology is highly advanced. I could go on, but, it's crazy, right? But part of me tells me that it's all true. And after what my brother supposedly saw down there, I have to investigate what the hell caused him to have these nightmares and what traumatized him for life. He has these nightmares where he wakes up in the middle of the night screaming for our parents that they are getting closer. I tried talking to my brother and comfort him by saying that it was just his imagination, but it just makes it worse. At this point, it's not just affecting my brother, it's affecting our family. So I've decided that I'm going to go to Disneyland and see for myself what the hell he saw. I want to expose Disney, find out their real intentions, and see what the fuck they're hiding down there. I always had my doubts about the happiest place on Earth, and my brother, God, he begged me not to go. But I had to. For our family, and most importantly, his sanity. My plan was to go to Disneyland with some of my friends. I took the usual: phone, flashlight, pocket knife. It was very hard to sneak the pocket knife in, but let's just say that I have very sneaky friends. Yes, my friends also know what happened to my brother, and I offered that they go with me to the place, but they didn't want problems, so, well, I was in this by myself. When we got to Disneyland, everything seemed normal. I made a copy of my brother's story and took it with me to follow the steps that he took. Though I couldn't find the green door anywhere near Toontown, he didn't really specify which corner. God damn it, I thought to myself. But around an hour later, I found it. I found the door near a roller coaster ride in the corner of Toontown. It's very well hidden. You have to have a good eye to find it. What I did find very strange was that, well, nobody paid attention to the door, like my brother said. I know I said it was hidden, but it was clearly visible from certain spots where a lot of people were. Anyways, I was finally going to see what happened that day to my brother, what he saw, and what had changed him. There were ropes around the door, which I cut with my pocket knife. It took a lot of time since I had to check every 3 minutes to see if security wasn't around, but I got it done in time, thankfully. I tried pulling and pushing the door, which at first did not work. It worked at the third time that I pulled it, though. I stepped into the room and closed the door behind me. Inside was a dim light, chairs broken, and, well, it just seemed like a messed up, abandoned janitor's closet. It wasn't until I saw some steps in the corner of the room going down that I froze. It was true. My brother didn't make it up. And here I was, standing a few steps away from closure. I investigated the room before going down the steps, and there really wasn't much, but I did find a big map of what seemed like Disneyland and Disney World in Florida. There were circles around certain areas. Club 33, Space Mountain, Pirates of the Caribbean, the Haunted Mansion, and finally, Toontown. The place where I was in right now. I thought to myself, Are there more places like this? Secret rooms that nobody knows about? The Disney World map had a lot of places circled, but only one circle stood out to me. It wasn't inside the theme park. Instead, it was a little island to the side of it, which I then recognized to be Disney's Discovery Island. On top of it were the words "Danger" written. I snapped a quick picture of it and went down the stairs. As I went down, a stinking odor filled my nostrils. The smell got worse and stronger with every step that I took forward. Ugh. What the fuck? Oh my god, I whispered to myself. When I got down the steps into a room, the room was again only bright by one tiny light hanging from the ceiling. A few moments later, the feeling of being watched washed over me, and thinking that it was just a bad vibe to the place, I moved on. I took pictures with my phone and turned on my flashlight. I froze in place as I saw what was a few steps away from me. I couldn't believe it. But in front of me was a big 6-foot-tall door, filled with rust. My instincts told me to get out of there, but I had to get this closure and find out what truly happened that day. I think what terrified me the most was what said next to the door. I couldn't believe it. I was frozen in place. I couldn't move. Near the door, and scratched everywhere around the room, were the words, "Mickey's House of Fun." "Here we go," I said. As I stood in front of the door, I heard the door from where I came in start to open. I heard guards starting to say, "Are they awake?" So I quickly walked towards the door without a thought, and I went in and shut the door behind me. Inside, the horrid smell of rot filled my nostrils. I turned on my flashlight and saw 2 more doors, one on the right and another on the left. I wasn't sure which one to go through, so instinctively I just picked the right door. As I went inside, it was a small room with 2 doors on the right and the left again. But something stopped me. As I was about to walk into the room, I heard a laugh. A similar laugh. I quickly hid under the table in the room and waited, hearing big, loud footsteps heading towards the room that I was in. Around 5 minutes later, they walked in, a few steps away from me. Monstrosities stood in front of me. It was a Mickey, just like how my brother described it in his story. Behind him was Goofy, wearing his green hat, torn. I'm guessing that's what my brother saw before he ran out of this place. Goofy was missing his nose, his eyes were huge and large. But the worst part was that Mickey saw me and grabbed me out of the table. He was drooling as he picked me up from my shirt and held me inches away from his big, sharp-teethed mouth. "You shouldn't be here, you know," he growled. The smell from him was horrible. I could now see him clear as day. Sharp teeth, left ear half ripped off. His clothes were dirty, covered with a red liquid. I was terrified. Not knowing what to do, I just closed my eyes shut and listened to what they said. "You're not in the happiest place on Earth. That door is a door to hell." I didn't know what to say. Here I was being held by a demon, but that's when I remembered my pocket knife. I grabbed it and swung at his face. I dropped to the floor and a screech filled my ears. My ears were ringing. I was stumbling everywhere. I couldn't see. That's when I heard the song play from It's a Small World. "Fuck, fuck, fuck!" I whispered. Not knowing what to do, I held my knife in my hand, just in case I stumbled upon one of those things again. Then everything went quiet. I started to hear footsteps again, but this time going farther into the room. I heard laughs of kids, and then screams. The last thing I heard before blacking out was a faint laugh. I woke up and I was now in the top floor in front of the green door. That's when I saw his white gloves reaching for me. It said, "You will lead us out of here. Free us. We will follow your lead, Mark." "What the fuck are you talking about? You deserve to rot in here," I screamed. "Oh, come on, Mark, don't be like that. It was obvious you were going to come back to see what messed with your little brother. You fell right into our trap, and you think you're safe, but you're not. But it's okay. We have your brother, and he will take your place. After all, he was the first one to find us." No, please don't do this. I beg you. He still has his whole life ahead of him. Please." "I'm sorry, Mark. It's too late for that. We all should pay for our consequences. And your brother has to pay his. Go. And never come back. If you say a word, we will come for you." I stood up and got out of there. When I got outside, it was dark. My phone started to ring notifications of my friends texting me where I was and that they had to leave. When I saw the time, I ran as fast as I could to the gates. As I was running, different costume characters appeared one by one from each corner. As I reached the gates, I climbed and was on the other side. I looked back and I saw hell. This wasn't what I grew up with. As I got home, my mother was on the couch crying. My heart stopped as she told me that my brother had snuck into Disney looking for me. And I never saw my brother again after that. This was 7 years ago. Now, you might think if that really is it. And yeah, it is. I don't want anything to do with Disney anymore. I know they said not to say anything or that they'd come after me, but I don't care anymore. Okay, I'm moving out of the US and taking my family with me. We need a fresh start. My name is Mark, and I'm a witness of seeing a horrible thing at Disney. Whether you believe it or not, it's up to you. But like my brother said, stay out of the green door at Disneyland's Toontown. Disney is a really powerful company. It can control you and make you sick in the head. Just please be careful out there. Live your life. I wish you all the best. This is Mark, signing off.